everyone. I am so excited today because I get to speak with author Hank Phillippi Ryan. And we are going to talk about this book. And first of all, I can't believe I get to talk to her. I'm beyond, to say excited is like, I'm beyond excited. Okay. This book called Trust Me, I'm going to say Trust Me, is amazing. There is not the perfect word to talk about how perfect this book is. Okay. There are no words. I'm out of words. Like, I always tell you guys how good books are and amazing and perfect. But then I've read this book and I'm like, I have no words. So I'm going to talk to Hank about this book. And I'm going to tell her how amazing it is. And I'm going to try not to say it 1,000 times so I don't annoy myself and annoy you. And just go buy the book. If this isn't on the New York Times bestseller list, this video is going to be coming out when the New York Times bestseller list comes out. I'm going to be stunned, okay? Because it not only should it be on there, it should be number one, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Number one, easily, okay? It's that good. So everybody, here is Hank. Hi everyone, I am so excited because I am speaking with author Hank Phillippi Ryan. We are talking about her brand new book that just came out last week, August 28th, and it's called Trust Me, and she's got a copy of it right there. And
I just happen to have a copy of my
she just happens to have a copy of it. And
isn't it beautiful?
it is absolutely beautiful.
And you know what's so great about it? I'll show you the secret of this book.
Okay.
If you look at it this way, can you read what it says in the background? See how it says L?
Yeah, I mean, I can't, only because I'm on a weird lighting system, but I see that you can.
It says liar underneath the
Oh my God. I was reading the small print. I was like, wait, I was reading.
That is amazing. Didn't they do a good job? And that's just so the secret of the book is that somebody's lying, and it's just underneath the surface. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Now I can't unsee it. Now it's right there. And I'm going to a bookstore tomorrow, so I'm gonna go get it, just to see it there. But
it's really fun.
I did an intro before we talked, and I said to everybody, they've all heard this, I can't find a more word. When I want to say this book is perfect, there's a better word, and it's more than perfect, Hank. I am speechless about this book. I am walking around. I read it yesterday, and I was to everybody I was on the phone. I'm like, you got to read. Okay, just read this book. Read this book. Everybody. I'm telling everybody. And I'm walking around today. I have to read another book later, and I'm like, no, I don't want to read another. I want to stay in this. I'm like, it was that good. It was that good.
Well, that is just heartwarming to hear. You're bringing tears to my eyes, and it's a good thing I'm wearing waterproof mascara. I worked so hard on this book. I had written 9 series books in the past. And when I had the idea for Trust Me, and we can talk about that in a minute, it was so profound to me and so life-changing to me. And I hoped that I could convey, not only this great and compelling and complicatedly wonderful story, the suspenseful story full of conflict and manipulation and deception. But I wanted to get across to people that there's a way that we look at the world that's what we believe and what we're told and the truth. And those are 3 different things. There's what we believe, there's what we're told, and then there's the truth. And that is a very difficult thing to see. But once you see it, it changes your whole perception of the world. And that's exactly what I tried to do in Trust Me. I mean, is that what you were thinking about it?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I was so blown away. I read a book a day, okay? So, we're not just talking about, I read a book a day. This book blew me away. And I am always one that says that I like these happy books. I like happy books, right? And whenever I start a book off that I know might not be as happy as I want it to be, to start off, I always have to brace myself. But I did not feel that way. Like, I know the topic. It sounds tough. It's a tough topic. Mercer's story is tough, because as women, her, that have had husbands and children, and, we don't want to be her. Okay. So we're not looking like that,
You don't want to be her. As the book starts out, as you know, She's writing in the steam and the condensation on her bathroom mirror, 442, the number of days it's been since she lost her husband and child, her beloved family, in this terrible accident. And she's literally counting the days of her life, and she can't figure out a way to get up in the morning. But this is a book about real life and about redemption and about coming back from a tragedy. And can we do that? And mystery thrillers, novels of suspense, the way like the books that I write,
yes,
can happen in real life. And this is why I hope Mercer is the dreaded word relatable, because we understand what it's like to be unhappy. Yes. And we understand that we have a choice. We can bring ourselves back into the world, or we can just fade away. I mean, Mercer considers lighting her house on fire, because why should she live? And then in the book, her source of potential redemption is essentially someone else's tragedy, a woman who is accused of killing her own daughter. And you're so right, it's a tough topic, but we start the book after that happens, yes, with the trial of Ashlyn Bryant. It's never the mother, as Mercer's editor says it. And Mercer, who is a journalist who gave up her career to have a family, and now look what happened, has to figure out whether Ashlyn Bryant is really guilty of killing her own daughter or not. And she does it. She takes on this assignment to write the story of Ashlyn Bryant, to redeem herself and the memory of her own family. So she does it not just as a journalist, but for her own cause. And is that a good thing? Should reporters put themselves in a story? Maybe that's dangerous. Maybe that's dangerous for all involved. And that's what I wanted to get across.
And even though it was for her, and we go through her emotions of that. But I think that, especially as we get older, I'm in my 50s, and you look back, and if somebody would have told you in your 20s, this is what's going to, when you're in your 30s, this is what's going to, and when you're in your 40s, like we would have crawled under a bed. Like we would have been like, no, I can't do that. And that's what I got from it, was like, yes, it is and it's like showing you how you do it, because all of us have been faced with something, maybe not the same as Mercer, but all of us have faced something that we didn't want to get up in the morning for, that we wanted to crawl under our bed, and
True. That's very true.
Yeah.
And I do think that, I'll tell you, my husband and I don't celebrate the anniversary of the day we met. We celebrate the anniversary of the day before we met. And we call that You Never Know Day. Because you never know what wonderful thing is around the next corner. Right? You never know, and sometimes it's out of disappointment, or it's out of when someone tells us no, we think, oh, we're doomed and we'll never be happy again. And because of that bad thing, because of that disappointment or that rejection, we do something to make our life differently better than it was before, when before we couldn't see a way out. And that's exactly the picture I wanted to paint for Mercer too, is that she has enough heart and soul and self-respect and optimism, I guess, that she sees she has this one life, and it's her responsibility to make the right choice about what to do with it. I had so many people tell me that when they finished the book, they had tears in their eyes, of sort of happiness for Mercer and happiness for the situation. So, but you don't, how she's going to get there, we just don't know.
That's right. So everybody, don't read ahead, because I never have the urge to read ahead the way I did with this book. I had to force I'm like, do not read ahead. Do not read ahead. Do not. It was like everything I took as a reader to not read ahead. But you know what? You won't get it anyway. It won't matter. But I'm gonna.
It wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't matter. Yeah, read ahead, but you won't care. So
one interesting thing is that I don't have an outline. So when I started writing this book, I had no idea what was going to happen. So I didn't know what Mercer's true past was, and I didn't know what Ashlyn's true past was, and I didn't know what their true futures were. So the reason that the thing that brought me to the computer every morning was, as I wrote the next line and the next paragraph and the next page, to see what happened. I just wanted to see what happened. And so people say, wow, the end of Trust Me, that really surprised me. I think, yeah, it surprised me too. I had no idea how this was going to end.
Okay.
And That's, Sue Grafton used to call that the magic. That, that magic of the writer's imagination and a real world, excuse me, a real world that is formed in the writer's brain and comes out on the page to share with readers.
I'm going to read to you this paragraph that I have read to at least a dozen people since yesterday. Because it's my favorite. I think this is my favorite paragraph of like all time. I'm going to make it a screensaver or something. We bargain, negotiate, make deals with the universe. Eventually, certainly, inevitably, we'll get what we want. Then the universe laughs and we are left to bargain with ourselves. Okay, and that's in the beginning of the book, so it means it's at the very beginning of the book. And right then, oh my gosh, Hank, I stopped and I was like, oh my God, because I have all, how we have all these things that we're like praying for, hoping for, thinking we know how our life is supposed to turn out, and if everybody would just listen and we could just map it out.
And also that when we make a plan, that's what's going to happen. And not only that, but that what we're wishing and hoping for is the right thing to wish and hope for. Because maybe it isn't, and what if it isn't? And what if our decisions, which we think through, are completely wrong? And what does that mean? And how do we pick ourselves up from that? I mean, Mercer thought she had a plan for her life, and it was a great, lovely, heartwarming, beautiful plan. It just wasn't what the universe had in store for her. And this book, trust me, is about what she does next and how she learns to trust herself again. Because as the book opens, this sort of cat and mouse game, as this book opens, Mercer doesn't know whether to trust herself at all. And how do you manage your life if you don't know who to trust? And if you can't trust yourself, where is your decision making? Where are your boundaries? Where is your platform? Where is your gut? So she's getting her power back, I guess, is a way of looking at it. And I hope, it makes people think about getting their own power back and not being consumed by disappointment and not being misled by your own sorrow. And I think that's what happens to Mercer as well. I mean, if you and I were in an elevator, I'd say one obsessed journalist, one troubled mom, and they face off in a high-stakes cat and mouse game to prove their truth about a terrible crime. But which one is the cat and which one is the mouse? And that's what readers have to decide. And I didn't know when I wrote the book which one was the cat and which one was the mouse. But in a cat and mouse game, only one can prevail, and only one can prevail in this book. And what if Mercer is wrong? What if she's wrong? And it could be a happy ending if she's wrong. What about that?
Yeah, and you know what? I went to your website today, in preparation for this, and I was reading all the blurbs. I try not to read too much before I read the book. And of course, with this book, it was difficult because it is out there, okay? It is everywhere. And I'm just like, don't look. I knew this was coming up. Don't look, don't watch, don't, so I have my own opinion. But when I was reading some of the blurbs that were coming out about it, I was like, oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, that does sum it up. That is so good.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting, the response. The starred review from Booklist says it's a knockout, first-rate psychological suspense. I'm having a T-shirt made of that. The Suspense magazine said, this is the best thriller I've read in years. And the other wonderful reviews from, many wonderful reviews from Mary Kubica and Megan Miranda and Lisa Gardner and all those people we love.
Yes.
And B.A. Paris. But the reviews from readers are also incredibly touching and profound to me. This is the best book I ever read. If I could give it 100 stars, I would. That it's life-changing. And one of them said, this is more than a psychological thriller. And that's exactly what I was going for. I want you to come out, after reading Trust Me, I want you to come out changed. I want you to be changed, the way you look at the world.
Yeah, and I'm so happy you said that because when I go on Instagram, I mean, they are the people that steer me, are the readers. And when your readers can get that excited, like it touches me too as like a reviewer because I'm like, look at the people that are buying this book and look at how it has changed them. And yes, all those, people that we love are just loving it too, but it's just the everyday people that are saying, read this book, you will not regret it. And they were so right because I was like, that's why I pay attention to what they're reading, because they're honest and they're going to tell you.
They're completely honest. I mean, it's interesting where this book came from quickly. My
Yes,
husband
tell
is a
me.
criminal defense attorney.
Yes.
And I want readers to know this because these books come from ourselves, from our lives, from our experiences, and we sort of take real life experiences and tweak and change and polish them to come out to a brand new story. But my husband is a criminal defense attorney, and he was defending one of his clients who was charged with a really terrible murder. And I heard him one Sunday morning. I was sitting at the breakfast table, and Jonathan was practicing his closing argument in this really grisly murder trial. And at the end, when he was finished, I said, "Oh, sweetheart, you are great. You're incredibly convincing. I totally believe what you're saying. And this is absolutely a slam dunk acquittal. You got this. The evidence is on your side. There's no question about this. You tell it beautifully, and this man is innocent. This is a not guilty." And then I started thinking about across town at the prosecutor's kitchen table and the prosecutor's wife listening to him give his closing arguments about exactly the same case with exactly the same evidence. And did she say to him, "Oh, honey, that's a slam dunk conviction. Your guy is so guilty"? And I thought, she believes that story, and I believe this story. And then I realized there was probably another side to that story as well. So I thought there are three sides to every story:
Yes.
yours, mine, and the truth.
Yes.
And at that moment, Trust Me was born. And that's on the cover now. There are three sides to every story: yours, mine, and the truth.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and I wondered whether I could write a thriller, a novel of suspense, where two believable people, could use exactly the same evidence to tell a story about the same crime, but the story they wove was completely polar opposite. Could I do that? I mean, could I do that puzzle? And that's what Trust Me turned out to be. So it was really a challenge to make you believe one thing and then make you believe something else and then see which of those things is true. And as I said, I didn't know.
Well, I tell you what, if this is not on the New York Times bestseller list this week,
Thanks.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. Okay. I will not be shocked. I'm going to be looking right away because it has to get up there. And I feel so blessed to have read this book. I can't even tell you. And people are saying that it's changed them, and it did. It changed me. Like I said, I don't want to read anything for a little bit. I want to sit here in this space, and I'm so happy that I got to talk with you. I feel so blessed to just to be able to sit here and talk to you, and I can't wait to see what this book does. I know you've written so many books, but I just have a feeling this one is just You said I thought I read somewhere that's your favorite. So I mean,
it's my favorite. I love my other books. I've written 9 other books in 2
Nice.
series, and I love Jane Ryland and I love Charlotte McNally, and I've won 5 Agathas, and they're all people like these books very much. Obviously, they've gotten terrific and marvelous response.
Right.
But this book is a special book to me. This is a life-changing, profound. It's my first standalone, which is a big deal and a very different kind of writing, which we should talk about someday. And
Absolutely.
But your readers, your readers and your listeners and your viewers, you all can make a difference with this book. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to chat about it and talk with you and get to see you in sort of person.
I know. I can't wait to see. You're everywhere. Like I said, you're so busy right now. And I'm going to tell everybody that I'm going to put all the links listed for Hank, especially the Amazon link, so you can go right there and you can buy it and show them the cover one more time. And I will let you go. I am so, so happy. Can't wait to see what this book does, Hank. Thank you so much for taking time out for me.
My complete pleasure. I loved every minute. And thank you for your incredibly kind words. I'll see you soon.
Yes, bye-bye. I don't know why my hair always looks good before the interview. And then I get on the interview, and then I look back, and I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, guys, that was my favorite interview, like, in forever. I will not forget this interview for a really long time. Isn't she amazing? And go get the book. That's all I'm going to tell you. I don't know what else to say. Go get the book. You want to read the best thriller that I've read in a long time? Go get the book. All the links are listed underneath here. Thank you, everyone.